So I have a tradition, every month on the 15th of the month I cry. God, this video is getting really depressing. Guys, what are you doing? Hello internet, it's Irina here, the Siberian who's gone international. About a week ago I told you about the things which I love about Finland, and today I want to tell about the dark side. Let's go right into it. The first thing that I want to complain about is sort of the lack of the dressing up culture. What I mean by that? Well, first of all, I'd like to mention that I love that at work you can wear whatever you want and feel comfortable, because I'm heavily allergic to the smart business dress code, and I remember I had to dress like that when I was working for a year in the US, and since then I cannot bear wearing that type of clothes on a daily basis. So in Finland I really like it that you can come to the office wearing your The Game of Thrones t-shirt and nobody will say a word. And I'm not even a coder, so it is pretty liberal here in terms of clothing at work. So that part I like. But the problem is when you really feel like going out and dressing up and feeling fabulous, there is almost no place where you could just go and dress up, for example, like this. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? And look natural. The majority of people, even in the nightclubs, they dress really neutrally. If it's a skirt, it usually comes with black tights. And I don't mean that I wanna walk around half naked and looking really vulgar, but sometimes you see these nice dresses in the shops, and you know that unless you go to party somewhere in the US where the look like this does look natural, you just won't have a place to wear them in Finland. I mean, yeah, you can, but you will look a bit like a black sheep or a white crow, how we say it in Russian. And yeah, you can say that you shouldn't follow the crowd, you should do whatever you like. And yeah, you're right in a way, but on the other hand, on my night out, I don't wanna prove anything, I don't wanna fight for anything. I just wanna wear the things I like without drawing too much attention to myself. And I know this is a really first world problem, but sometimes you just feel like buying a nice dress and wearing it somewhere. Sorry. And while the look like this or this would look totally natural in the American nightclub, in Finland it will look like you're really overdoing it or trying too hard, so I actually had to sell these two dresses. And yeah, I used to be blonde and it was a big mistake, I admit it. The second thing I'm going to bitch about is the alcohol policies. So in Finland, government has the monopoly on selling alcohol. Anything stronger than beer you can buy only in this special shop called Alko during the special hours. For example, on Saturdays it closes at 6, on Sunday it closed the whole day. And of course, whenever I actually feel like buying, I don't know, a bottle of wine, it's going to be during the hours when it's not working. And it feels weird, it feels like a parent controlling your drinking habits. And being an adult myself, I really want to be able to make my own decision whether I want to become an alcoholic or not. This monopoly also affects the prices, which I think are artificially inflated. And Finland is an expensive country in general, which is okay given the average salary and the quality of life. But alcohol is something else. Here I filmed some prices for you, and actually before I started preparing for this video I thought that the cheapest bottle of wine you can get is going to cost you about 5 euros, but as you can see, finding anything below 7 euros is a mission impossible. I'm filming the lowest shelves, which have the cheapest wines, and pretty much all the cheapest options are 7 euros per bottle. And honestly, I don't think the wine should cost like the tears of a virgin unicorn. People sometimes use wine to cook with, and it's heartbreaking to watch 7 euros just evaporate. Am I right, or am I too greedy? I don't know, tell me. The price of alcohol in public places is also ridiculously expensive, and it's kind of sad because I think it kind of pushes people to, at least some people, to drink at home instead of having this nice relaxing experience of sharing some drinks in a bar or restaurant without thinking too much about it. I don't know, maybe I'm too stingy, but when I'm in the restaurant and I have to pay like 10 euros for a glass of wine, I'm like, I don't know, unless it's a special occasion, maybe I'll just take water. And I don't know, I have an average salary, I don't have any kids depending on me. And to me, it does feel like too much. I don't know, doesn't it for you? I don't think that 10 euros is an adequate price for a glass of wine. What do you think? Okay, the next thing I'm going to complain about is the weather. Okay, this is very subjective. I think that some people get kind of inspired by this gray, gloomy, rainy weather. I think it makes you reflect more on life, to think deeper about the matters which bother you. And I think it might even have a positive effect on art, because a gray weather like this, it kind of makes you more depressed, and then this pain, god, this video is getting really depressing, but I mean, yeah, this pain sometimes can transform into beautiful pieces of art. Like, let's take the famous Finnish band Poets of the Fall. Honestly, it's difficult to imagine for me that they would be writing this kind of lyrics if they lived somewhere on a sunny beach their whole life. But let's go to the complaining part. Why are we so unlucky with the weather? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not even complaining about cold winters or something. The problem is, most of the times it's +2. I would choose -15 over +2 any day of the week, because when it's -15, at least it's bright, it's not humid, and you know, a lot of people are complaining that it's too dark during the winter in Finland. I don't really care about the darkness, I think it's humidity which kills me. And most of the times it's not cold, it's just this half rain coming from the sky, it's all grey and gloomy and humid, and you don't get a proper winter for a very long time. It happens often in the Helsinki region that we don't have any snow on Christmas, which I think is illegal, because it's Finland, there is supposed to be snow on Christmas, but let's see how it goes this year, but now it's mid-December and there is still none. And then you wait and wait and wait for the summer, and then it finally comes, usually with a huge delay. For example, a couple of years ago we had snow on the 30th of April, I think. So yeah, but then the summer comes and it's cold. For example, this July, I remember I had a stopover in St. Petersburg, and St. Petersburg is the same shit as Helsinki, weather-wise. So I had this 10 hours long stopover in St. Petersburg on my way to Siberia. And it was so cold, I was wearing sneakers and jeans and a leather jacket and a sweater underneath, and I had to literally run from door to door because it was too cold to be outside. And then I take my plane to Siberia, and then I arrived to Siberia and there is +27, and I was just like, really? Really? I had to go to Siberia to experience the actual summer? There is something wrong with that. And on that day, when I was running from door to door on 11th of July because it was too cold to be outside, I honestly felt like I have a right to write an official complaint to some weather management team somewhere above and say, like, guys, what are you doing? It's 11th of July, what are you doing? Why is it so cold? And another thing which I want to complain about, which I think a lot of people can agree on, is, first I wanted to say high prices of services, but then I decided that it's taxes in general. So I have a tradition, every month on the 15th of the month I cry over my payslip, seeing how much is being taken away. A couple of years ago I had this promotion at work which came with a pay increase, and on the paper it looked good before I recalculated my taxes. The thing is, Finland has a progressive tax, as in many countries, so the more you earn, the higher percent of the tax you're paying. So what happened to me is that the amount of work I had to do has tripled, quadrupled, actually 5-drupled, is that a word? I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, I had to do 5 times more than I used to, while the actual increase I was getting, I mean, on hand after taxes, was so insignificant in comparison to the increased amount of work. And I even heard some managers complaining that it's really difficult to find people willing to take higher positions because they understand that it comes with greater responsibilities, with a learning curve, with increased amount of work, but then the taxes will eat up almost the entire raise you're getting. So that's a bit sad. And in general, taxes are really high. And it's a bit discouraging that no matter how much you hassle, the tax will take a huge portion of that away. For example, renting your apartment here, if you do that, you have to pay 30% on it, which is a lot. And VAT tax in Finland is 24%, while in France and in the UK it's 20%, and in Germany I think it's 19%. Consequently, all these high taxes lead to all the services being super expensive. I have a friend from Dubai and we've been comparing how much same services cost in Dubai and in Finland, and while the salaries in Dubai are significantly higher than here, the prices of services are significantly higher here than in Dubai, which is crazy. And while in general I really like that Finland has this socialist approach and that the education is free for everyone and that it's really difficult to become a homeless person and die from starvation here, I think there are some areas which are a total waste of tax money, and I think that maybe if Finland would stop wasting tax money on those, they would be able to decrease the VAT and the income taxes at least a little bit. The next point on my list is the distance from the rest of the EU countries. Finland is kind of located on the outskirts of the EU, so having this weekend getaway to some European capital is not really a thing, because if you want to go to Paris or Barcelona or Lisbon or Rome or Prague for a weekend, the return flight is gonna cost you like 200-300 euros, unless you manage to get a really good deal, and then you also need to get lucky with the departure and arrival time. Also, for some reason, budget airlines don't really operate here, so going somewhere for less than 100 euros return is not really an option. But on the other hand, Finland is now really developing its connections to Asia, so at least flying to Thailand or Singapore or India is supposed to be quite easy now. Though you cannot really go there for a weekend, but still, it's something. This is it for today. This is the end of my whining session. If you agree with any of the points that I've mentioned, please click the like button, and I will see you in my next video if you will subscribe to my channel. So do that now! Do that! Thanks for watching, see you in the next one. Bye!